Welcome to the Neville Goddard Podcast. Today we're going to dive into the other manifesting law that nobody's talking about. And yet it invades everybody's life. And when you get the gold behind this, you're going to get why I am a massive fan of single scene manifesting. In other words, one wish per session, one session per wish. Get in the habit of doing this fast. Get in the habit of having 5 to 10, 6 to 12 wins per day. You're going to get it why in just a moment. But I want you to think about this. There's this other law. You're going to learn about it in just a second. And for the rest of your life, you're going to walk around watching how true this is. It's inescapable. You've got a choice today. War, work, or play. And I'm going to suggest play every day. Have a lovely day. My name is Mr. 20. Let's dive in. See ya. Alrighty, so here's the other law that matters when it comes to manifesting quickly, easily, what you actually want in life, not what someone else wants you to have or what you're willing to settle for. By the way, let's do the intro. My name is Mr. 2020. I'm coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia. It is 6:33 a.m. Monday, the 12th of December, 2022. It's 13 days to Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. You know, years ago I wouldn't dare sing in public on a recording. I sing all the time now. I imagine something different. And I want you to start imagining something different about imagining today. Because this really is about singing your song, not trying to talk yourself into being somebody different or ordering the universe to do what you want it to do. I've done all those things. I've learned all those things. I've taught many of those things. And I abandoned those things for what works. So we're going to talk about abandonment today. And we're going to talk about the other law. You see, there's Neville's law. Neville taught two things, essentially. And like me, people say, 20, you keep talking about the same handful of things. Yeah, but I keep exploring them differently. Because Neville Goddard said you came here to know imagination. You want to know the truth about you that sets you free? Play heaps. That's where all the courses, products, and recordings and packs come from, gang. Playing. That's where the wins come from, too. But Neville taught the law and the promise. The law basically has to do with you become one with what you've desired. I am that happens. I am a BMW owner, and suddenly I own a BMW. In the most weird way it happens, sometimes. Imagine flying around the world and I've got half the money I need handy. And for some reason, one ticket opens up and it's exactly how much I got, right? Well, it gives me enough money to get to the airport and give the driver a healthy tip. God, I gave him my last $50. Because I was in a bind. But I felt that it would be lovely to give the last of my money to him. By the way, I also got free food that trip the whole way around the world. It was bizarre. Every place I went, people were buying me things. But I appear to digress, but let's dive deeper. There's the law. Where you imagine, where you experience what implies your wish is fulfilled, where you change, literally, your identity, as we teach in our identity-based manifesting. But I appear to digress again, don't I? Because I want you to let this become playful. If your life isn't full of play, it's going to become work, and work becomes war. Really let that sink in. If you don't let it be playful, if you're not full of play, this becomes work, and work becomes war. So let's talk about the other law. So the law, let me back up one more time. The law is about manifesting. The promise is about realizing who you truly are. And how this truly works. Your awareness of being is God. Really becoming aware of that. And it's all about functional oneness. But here's what happens if you decide that's, can't be true, 20, right? Or if you just try to approach this like most people do, they make this work. Now the other law, I hope you've been getting ready for this, is Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law is this. Work expands to fill the amount of time available. So if you say, hey, it's going to take me 7 hours to make a cup of coffee. If you've got 7 hours to make a cup of coffee, it's going to take you 7 hours to make a cup of coffee. I get more shit done in 2 hours than most people get done in a week. And I get the right shit done. I get the profitable shit done. And by profitable, I mean what has impact. Maybe you've noticed, I live a life based on impact and vision, and that's what I want for you in whatever way you want it. Now, if work expands to fill the amount of time available, play just lets things be fun. If you let it be fun, you discover it's simple. If you discover it's fun and simple, suddenly it becomes easy. But if you're having a hard time with this and I tell you, hey, this is easy, you're just going to argue with me because you're in a state that has you working at it. And if you work at it, work expands to fill the amount of time available. So you're working at winning the lottery or something big. You've got one big problem that you want to fix. By the way, this is not how it works. This is how you make it work. I've got one big problem that I want to fix. It's either him or her or the lottery or something big that happened 25 years ago. By the way, we've all been there. I got beat to death at 23, had PTSD. I tried to fix the big thing for quite a while. Then I did what I do now. I began to play again. Start to imagine you as playful, and this is a big key. This is why I love the way we teach what we made up, the Joseph Goddard method. Right? We made it up based upon what Neville taught about his dad and a few years of experimentation. Noticing what works, noticing what didn't. Because if work expands, according to Parkinson's law, work expands to fill the amount of time you give it. So I remember watching Victoria in the garden. And if she had all day to rake the grass, she took all day to rake the grass and she was in hell. But when she decided to live in a different state, suddenly everything changed. The old lawnmower blew up and we bought her a new mulching mower. It's called a Corvette, honest to God. It's so cool. It mulches, it bags, it does everything. It's self-propelled. She just loves it. Imagine Victoria and her Corvette. But I appear to digress again. Because now she gets the grass done, she does some planting, does some pruning, just enjoys the fruits of her work. And she enjoys sharing it with the world. So we begin with Neville's law. You imagine you experience what implies your wish is already fulfilled, and we dive deep into that. It's very simple, but you can explore it for decades. Neville taught like 400 lectures plus a dozen books. We're doing the same kind of deal. Almost 2,000 podcasts now. 2.8 million listens. You get what I'm imagining? Do you notice this ain't work? I don't let work grow anywhere in my life. Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the amount of time you give it. And here's the big deal for the day. Ready? This is why when we teach Joseph Goddard, I want you to take 5 to 10, 6 to 12 specific events of your day and imagine them having gone your way. I did it with the guy that walked the fence line. Right? His heels didn't hit the ground for years. He walked the fence line every day. That's an event of my day, having to experience him in pain. He hasn't been in pain for quite some time. He now skips and runs in place. I don't know what happened, but the incurable got cured somewhere along the line. I imagine up simple things like your emails, orders, Victoria's Yum, feedback on the podcast. I love that. Spotify now lets you leave comments for me. I just adore that. I put them up on YouTube. You guys leave comments there too. I love it. See, these are some of the things that I imagine up every day. Big things, little things, miracles, but they are specific events of my day having gone my way, and I do 5 to 10, 6 to 12 quickly. Because if you've got one problem and you meditate on it for hours to fix it, you're making this work. And on the other hand, if it's like, yeah, I'd love to experience Victoria's Yum today. By the way, here's how it worked out yesterday. I imagined Victoria's Yum. And I went to the market. And I bought these these meals that are wrapped up in banana leaves. Right, it's Sri Lankan food. It's lovely. This lovely little woman makes them. And I bought 2. Chicken, red rice, and whatever the hell else she's got in there. Some sort of Sri Lankan curry or spice. And I said, hey, can I trade one of those for a vegetarian? See, I'm not a vegetarian. Neither is my wife, but her sister is. And I've imagined up Victoria's Yum. And I suddenly got the urge to trade my meal in for a veggie meal. And so Victoria got a chicken, and her sister got a veggie meal. And what happened was, yesterday they had about a 2-hour mission that turned into an 8-hour mission. And they got to eat those meals for lunch together. I didn't see Victoria's Yum, but I heard it when she called me. And that was the big thing, because it's not like, for me to feel happy, I have to eat lunch with my wife every day. Otherwise, I've got a problem. It's about giving. I imagine her yum so I can experience my joy about her satisfaction. And so I bought one of those meals for her and one for her sister, and they both loved them. I can't tell you the joy that I experience by imagining up in the morning, 5 to 10, 6 to 12, specific events of my day having gone my way where I'm the blessing. My experience of her yum, a blessing. My experience of your emails, a blessing. Because your emails tell me you're doing this. You're winning. Your life is changing. And my day becomes more and more play. Put 5 to 10, 6 to 12 in. Do it exactly like we teach. If you got gold today, Joseph Goddard to the max. Right? You can get that at NevilleGoddardStore.com. But Joseph Goddard to the max. This is going to change your life. This is why I'm nuts about it. This came from what we call our guaranteed win method. We just developed it more and made it streamlined, because here's the deal. Right? If you can put 5 to 10, 6 to 12 specific wins into every single day of your life, what do you think happens to your problems? And what do you think happens to your confidence? Your problems get smaller. In other words, you have less work. And your confidence goes through the roof. Have a lovely day. My name is Mr. 2020, and God, it is a beautiful day in Australia. Such a gentle rain right now. Merry Christmas to you. See ya.